Okay, hello. Good morning. Good morrow. Good morrow. It's Saturday. I should be doing homework, but instead I'm preaching. Okay, so if you're watching this, that means you're probably fucked in the head, okay? It's okay. And it probably also means that you're tired of being fucked in the head and that you want life to get better because you realize that people probably, rely on you and you can't just, go kill yourself, you know what I mean? Which is great. That's a great realization to have. Welcome. You had your... This is juice. My juice. Hold on. Okay. So. How to start a meditation practice, how to start a meditation crisis when you're totally fucked in the head. By this I mean you have intrusive thoughts, you have PTSD, CPTSD, maybe you have ADHD, maybe you have OCD. I don't know what your diagnosis is, girl. But the point is, you probably have a lot of trouble with sitting still and being alone with your thoughts because it's a dark place in there, okay? And for some people, it's very easy. They're like, oh my god, okay, so I'm gonna start meditating, and this is my new hobby, and I'm just gonna start by meditating for 1 minute a day until it builds to 2 minutes a day, and then it's gonna be 3 minutes, and then it's gonna be 4 minutes, and then eventually it'll be an hour per day, and then I'm gonna transcend, and I'm gonna be the most mentally stable person on earth. Listen, if you live in the real world, you're probably not a monk, and that's probably not going to happen so easy, okay? And also, if you've lived a traumatic life, girl, same. But chances are that those 30 seconds of quiet time with your own brain could be exactly the thing to send you down the shitter, okay? It's not easy. Meditation is not an easy feat, okay? And this is for the girly pops and the boily pops and the namely pops that understand that. And they still want to achieve that someplace, but they need a precursor to the first step, okay? So before you even get to your 1 minute a day, there's something that you're thinking, what am I going to try so that I can get to my 1 minute a day? I'm here to help you, sis, okay? Chances are you probably already read the self-help books, and you already have been watching, videos, and people just keep regurgitating the same shit all over and over again, because those are psychology poopies. Those are people who are in the, New Age spirituality realm. And I think I have another perspective to look at things that is valuable, and a perspective that I'm not really finding in, the spiritual realm online, which is why I started this, because I'm like, oh my god, wait, I have something to contribute, guys, which is awesome. So, I'm an actor, for anybody that doesn't know, but if you do know, hello. I'm an actor, and I think acting saved my life. But you don't have to be an actor to have your life saved. What I did learn by starting to act, though, are these, practices that are essentially how to be present, right? Because it is your job as an actor to be a present human being and be able to live moment to moment and be alive and connected to whoever is in front of you without dealing with all this other bullshit, right? Which is essentially a meditative practice. It's very spiritual to be an actor. Who'da thunk, right? But it's also very fun and easy to drop into if you know what you're doing. So, what is this thing that you're talking about, Oriana? I'm not even gonna make... Girl, hold on. My earring. It's imagination work. What? Yes, it's imagination work. So, you can do things with your imagination where you're consciously trying to remove or implement an idea in your mind or a belief in your mind. You know what I mean? And through the imagination work, you will eventually be able to perhaps get to a point where you can sit still without having to imagine a bunch of things, right? So, I'm going to give you an example of this in my own life, and then I'm going to give you a little homework, and then you're going to go do that little homework, okay? My example of this, of how I started to even think about self-help and transcending or whatever, transcendental meditation, whatever, is that I couldn't sit still. I couldn't shut up. And I couldn't not be listening to music. Like, I always had to have some sort of stimuli. I always had to be stimulated by something, because the second that things would get quiet, I would go bananas, and I'd be like, and it would go really dark, it'd be like, what do you mean I have to live with my brain forever? Like, wouldn't it just be easier for me to, like, throw myself off a cliff? But then I didn't do that, because, like, your life is shared, and you can't just take your life away from other people, because people need you. And it turns out that we're pack animals and we're monkeys, and that's a video for a different day, but you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't just go do that, right? So it was like, okay, I'm putting myself through this torture, because I was torturing myself with my mind. I'm putting myself through this torture for other people, as if that was an honorable thing to do, right? And not only that, but I also was dealing with flashbacks and nervous tics bordering on Tourette's. Oh shit, what? Yeah. Okay, a lot of shit has happened to me, okay? Heavy stuff that you don't need to know about, but really bad, okay? So I was basically, like, living life as if it was a television thing that I was watching on my tiny brain TV, and I would sometimes even have, like, out of body experiences where I would just detach from my body entirely, and I could see myself from, like, the third person. It was fucking trippy. Oh my god, dark times, girl, right? But then I started acting school at Stella Adler. Shout out Stella Adler. And one of the beginning practices that they have before you even really start to do any plays or anything like that is that they force you to become a present human being. And because if you don't have presence, you're gonna be a bad actor, because everything is gonna be forced, and you're not gonna respond to the person in front of you. You're not gonna be able to play, and presence is play, and that's why children are so good at playing, because they're so good at being present. Okay, so if you want to play in life, I learned to play in life because I learned to play in my work. You need to learn how to be present, and this presence was taught to me because my teacher, Josh, kind of understood that you can't get a bunch of angsty Shakespearean actors to just really, like, become monks, right? So instead, he gave us tiny imagination homeworks without really saying, hey, this is meditation. This is meditation in and of itself. But the word meditation is so scary, right? So he didn't say that. He said this: hey guys, your homework this week is, you don't have to memorize anything. All you have to do is go for a walk in which you do not take your phone. You leave your phone at home. You do not bring music with you. You do not bring a book with you. You do not eat. You don't talk to other people. You don't do anything but go observe and walk and walk and walk and walk for an hour to 4 hours, and ideally until your feet hurt, right? And I was like, King, what do you mean? I don't have time for this. Like, you just want me to go for a walk? Like, I have shit to do. You know what I mean? I got money to make. I have a hustle. I have to memorize my script. I have to do this. I thought it was fucking ridiculous. I'm like, this is ridiculous, right? And then but I did it anyway, because I'm an overachiever when it comes to acting, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it so that I can go back to class and say, this did nothing. I don't know why you made me do that, right? And then I went and I did it, and guess what? It changed my fucking life. Because it was the first time that I forced myself to be present without stimuli in in the present, in the moment, and I didn't do it inside my home. I didn't have any distractions. I was outside, and I was forced to listen to everything that was around me, because that was my job. It was to just go and like observe and be present. But like, what can I hear? What can I see? What can I touch? What can I taste? You know, and just walk. And that was life changing, because I hadn't done that in God knows how long. Okay. And I think that's why British people are so good at acting, because they started that. They have, I don't know if you know this about British people, but they have a really, really strong walk practice. Like, British people be walking. They go on a lot of walks. Anyway, but that's a different thing. So I went on this walk, and sure enough, I felt, for the first time in my life, like my life was real. And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, it felt like this, you know, when you're, that feeling when you're like at the airport and you're about to leave somebody, or after you've cried for like 4 hours, and it's kind of like, it's like this raw, oh, I'm alive feeling. And I felt that, and I was like, why do I feel like I'm at the airport? I don't know how to explain this feeling to you, but you know what I mean. I think you know the feeling of like life is real. And for the first time in a while, it felt like life was real. And so I was like, oh shit, like this Josh guy has some like really incredible things that I actually should be listening to. So I started taking him seriously, which was a big deal for me, because I have had issues with authority my entire life. And this was the first time where I was like, oh, I don't know better than you. You know more than me. And I'm a little know-it-all bitch, okay? So this meant something. Anyway, so that thing that I just described to you, that work, is way more complicated in a way than you sitting in your room. Oh my God, my alarm. That thing is, technically speaking, way more complicated than you sit in your room for 1 minute and just going, you know, technically speaking. But sometimes, I don't know why, sometimes you just need to make a day out of it, because it's such a huge fucking deal. People think that in order to get somebody to start something, they need to make it as little of a deal as possible. But for me, I need things to be a big deal so that I can intentionally start to change myself. I don't know why. I'm a cold turkey bitch, okay? When I stopped smoking weed, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna smoke 1 doobie a day, and then next time it'll just be a hit, and then next time I'll stop. No, it was like, I was a stoner. I smoked weed every day from when I was 14 till I was 19, and then one day I had a really bad panic attack, and then I never smoked again. So if you're this kind of person, then we vibe together, and this might work for you. It might not, but I highly doubt that, okay? So if you want to be somebody that meditates, you have to do imagination work, okay? So that's the motivation behind it, okay? But after doing that exercise and a bunch of other exercises, I was eventually able to become a person that meditates every day and is joyous, and I'm no longer depressed, which is fucking insane, bro. That the fact that I no longer have depression, I no longer rely on medication to make me feel good and happy about myself. The fact that I no longer have these intrusive thoughts that murder my mind every day, simply because I learned how to do this, is insane. And so I hope that this helps you. So this is your homework. Are you ready for your homework? You can try the other one that I just talked to you about, or you can try this one, which is a little bit more extreme, but it's going to help you to have an image in your mind while you're on that walk, instead of just walking, because it's very easy for your thoughts to override your brain, even if you're on a walk, you know, and then that can become very overwhelming, especially if you're a girl and you're leaving your phone behind at your house, right? So if you have an image that you need to keep in your mind during that entire walk, it's going to help you to have something to focus on, so that you can't be invaded by the other things, if that makes any sense. So girl, this is what you're gonna do. New York heaters. You're gonna go outside You're going to leave your phone behind, and then you're gonna walk, bitch. But when you walk, when you get to the outside of your house, you're gonna pretend that you see a version of yourself that lives inside of you, and then you're gonna put her at the beginning of your walk, and she's your overthinking self. She's the version of yourself that has intrusive thoughts. She's the version of yourself that can't sit still. She's the version of yourself that hates herself, that you know what I mean. This isn't weed, this is Palo Santo. So you're gonna put that version of yourself there, right? And then you're gonna walk forward and just wherever your feet take you until your feet hurt so much, until your feet hurt and you cannot walk any longer, okay? Oh my god. Give me one moment. And while you're walking, you're going to imagine that you have strings attached to this other version of yourself. And every step forward that you take, those strings get tighter and tighter, and the longer you walk, the more those cords rip. And eventually, when you finally get to the end of your walk, oh my god, this saved my life, bitch. The way that this saved my life doing this. When you get to the end of your walk, you're gonna meet your ideal self on the other side, okay? And she's gonna be like a little ball of light, and then you're gonna pick up that ball of light, and those cords will have ripped, and then you're gonna pick that little ball of light, and that little ball of light is a fire that incinerates those cords, okay? And incinerate all the way back to that past version of yourself, okay? That light incinerates her and the attachment that you have to her. And then you're gonna walk back with this new version of yourself who's now in you and has this light inside of you, and you're gonna walk and you're gonna imagine that this light that is inside of you is lighting up the whole street. It's lighting you have so much light inside of you that you can share that with every person that you make eye contact with until you get back home. And you get back home and she's ashes now. That other person is gone. And you're this new person. And you might have to do that a couple times. But it really only took 1 or 2 times for me to do that before I broke through something very important. Very important, genuinely speaking. It's hard work. You might cry. You might most definitely cry. But it's very valuable, and make a day out of it, okay? Because sometimes you just need to make a day out of it because it's so important. This decision that you're making to start meditating and to become a different person because you're tired of hating your mind and where you live. This is your home and you hate it there. That sucks. You live in an abusive household, you know? Damn. Like, you're literally deciding to leave an abusive household. That's not a little deal. That's not nothing. That's not nothing that you can just... If any of you have left an abusive situation, you know that it's not something that you leave little by little. You just gotta run out the fucking door with your bag, you know? It has to be... It's kind of a big deal. So it's okay to make it a big deal. And yeah, make a day out of it, and then you can journal about it afterwards and write how you felt, or if you felt anything, or if anything changed, and if it didn't, you can try again, or you can look into imagination work online or something like that. Yeah, but this is very actor driven. So this isn't necessarily... Buddhism has a lot of this as well, but this isn't necessarily something that is talked about in the self-help realm. So if you're interested in this, I encourage you, even if you're not an actor, to look into acting or acting lessons or interviews with actors. And that's why we find actors so fascinating, is because they're fully present, bro. They're fully present, and they're not bullshitting you about the fact that you have to be anything. But anyway, that's a different video. I'm gonna stop talking right here. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you're fucked in the head, but girl, I I get it, and I hope that this helps. And if it does help, text me, DM me, and tell me how you felt and how your experience was, and I actually want to know. Like, this is a community builder thing that I'm doing here because I know that people listen to this and it's valuable to them, and that's so awesome that it's valuable to them. So don't for a second hesitate to DM me, and we can talk about it. And if you have questions, like, talk to me, babe. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. Au revoir. Au revoir.